Alright, hey guys, I'm just going to be sharing how to set up your SPSS data set. So the first thing that you want to do is open up SPSS, and it should look like this. It should be a blank data set. And the first thing that you're going to do is click on Variable View down here at the bottom. And we're going to be putting in our variables. So your variables are pretty much going to be one for every question that you have on your survey. So over here I have my quantitative survey that I did when I was in this class. And my first question that I asked was, what is your year in college? So that is going to be my first variable. And what we're going to do is we're going to put it under name right here. You're going to name your variable. So for this one, I'm just going to name it year in college. And something about the name is you can't have any spaces in it or it will give you an error message. So make sure that you don't have any spaces, and it's just something that can help you identify what question you're referring to. So then next, you can look at decimals, and for all of these, you can make them 0 underneath decimals for every variable that you do. Next, you're going to do label, and label you can really just highlight, copy, and put in the exact question that you asked on your survey. Next are the values. So in here, you're going to put in a number for every selection that you offered. So as you can see, my first selection was freshman, so I'm going to give that the value of 1. Freshman, add. My second one is sophomore, so I'm going to put that as 2. And then junior and senior. So those are my value labels. And those will be important when you're going back and putting your data actually in SPSS. You will use these numbers again. So then that is all good. You don't have to worry about any of this stuff, but you will want to go to measure. And because these have categories, they are going to be nominal. All of your variables are either going to be nominal or scale. Scale are going to be your Likert scales. If you did any of those, you'll put them in as scales. Otherwise, everything else will be nominal. All right, so I'll do another one for you. My second variable would be semesters in Esperanza Hall. So I'm going to put that in here. Esperanza. Again, the decimal can just be 0. And then here you can put in the exact question. And then because they could put in their own responses, to figure this out, I'm actually going to go to my responses. If you didn't know this, you can click this and it will create a nice spreadsheet for you. And actually, because these are numbers, you don't have any values. You don't have to put anything in for values if you asked a question where they gave you a raw number. So that would also be something like age. So that is all good. And then, so my third question is, who is your resident RA or resident assistant? So I'm going to say RA for the name. Again, 0 decimals, and copy this over. Who is your resident RA? Okay, for this, because I had them type in their answer and it's not a number, I'm going to go to my responses, and it looks like everybody responded either Jasmine or Samara. So for my values, I'm just going to make those the choices. So 1 would be Jasmine, and 2 would be Samira. And it doesn't really matter which one is which. You just have to put them in. And this is a nominal measure. All right. So then we would do this, the variable in which dorm do you live, but I want to show you one of my Likert scales. So for this question, for this variable, I asked what I am satisfied with the living conditions of Esperanza Hall dorms. So I'm just going to name this one satisfaction in living conditions. Decimals 0. I'm going to copy this as the label. All right, so then for values, I'm going to put in what I selected as my values. So 1 was strongly disagree. 2 was disagree. 3 was neutral. 4 was agree. And 5 was strongly agree. Okay. And these are a Likert scale, so we're going to put them in as a scale item. And I chose to do all of my quantitative questions to be Likert scales. So it's super easy. I can just copy and paste these same values. You can copy them and paste them, and then as you can see, it goes in and it does it all for you. Otherwise, you can do the same thing. If you did different questions that have different value or different options, you'll just have to do the values for each one. And like I said, Likert scales are scales, and if there's categories, then it is a nominal variable. So once you have all of your variables into the variable view, which you'll have one variable for each question, then you're going to go over to data view, and as you can see, they pop up here on the top. Each one has its own, these are the variables. So now it's really helpful to have this spreadsheet. If you did it on Google Forms, it makes this spreadsheet for you. If you did them with paper, you're just going to have to refer to the paper, but something that's really, really helpful is to number each paper so that you can refer back. This was participant 1, this was participant 6, and it doesn't matter which number you give them, but it just helps. Then you can correspond with where you placed it in SPSS. So from here, you're just going to go and insert the numbers that you gave it. So participant 1, year in college, they were a junior. So junior, if we look back, that was given the value of 3. So when we go over here, participant 1 was a junior, so we put in a 3. Participant 2 was also a junior, so we put in a 3. Participant 3 was a sophomore, so that's a 2. And the reason why when I put in a number, it changes to the actual name is you can toggle between number and name with this button right here, the little 1A, and that switches it. I think it's helpful to have it where it switches it to the name so that you can make sure that you're putting in the right number in the right participant slot. So participant 4 would be senior, participant 5, sophomore, and you just go on with that. For my second variable, how many semesters have you lived in Esperanza Hall? These are just numbers, so you can just plug those numbers in. And that'll be similar to if you like asked for age as a raw number, that'll be the same thing. For RA, look back and see where I put in. So Jasmine is 1 and Samara is 2. So participant 1 had Jasmine, and just keep going down. And then, so in Google Forms, it gave me these numbers for my Likert scales, but I changed them in here so you could see how I did it. So participant 1 for the satisfaction in living conditions put agree. So that is number 4. Participant 2 put neutral, so we put 3. Participant 3 put strongly agree, so that would be 5, and you just keep going on like that. So I believe that is all that you need to know. Start with the variable view, put in all your variables, and if you guys have any questions, you can set up a time to go over your specific data set with me, and we can share a screen on Zoom, and I would love to help you all out. But I think that is all for this tutorial.